Welcome to this experience and thank you for coming here. We hope you enjoy the journey. Feedback and suggestions are welcome.
All right, here I am with one of my favorite artists from way back when. Well, not too far back when, but this is Bill Sienkiewicz.
We're both in our 20s, right? Yeah.
Exactly. We're both. I was 20, 30 years ago. Me beat.
I have no.
He's not saying. So tell me, Bill, I love your work. I've been a big fan. For me, I was really introduced to you back in your Moon Knight days.
For Moon Knight, that was like the starting gig. So that
for you, was that your first real gig?
Like the first real gig, yeah. And so that has a special place simply because of the fact that it was #1.
What was some of your favorite things you've worked on in the past little while that you are really proud of?
Everything I've done has a special place. It's that old thing about who's your favorite child, the New Mutants and being able to play around with that, going into Elektra Assassin with Frank and all of that period, like going into painted comics, which I really wanted to do and push that arena, and then into doing things like Straight Toasters, which is totally 100% mine.
When we say Frank, we mean Frank Miller. Did you work closely with Frank?
Oh, very closely, yeah. When Frank and I worked together, it was no holds barred, we were absolutely having a great time. We were just playing. It was literally like a situation where Frank would write, I would get really inspired by what he'd written, and then I would go in and want to rework the art because I would end up changing what he had given me, and then he got really inspired by that. It was the truest kind of collaboration. I didn't feel necessarily bound by what he had written. And a lot of writers have a problem with, well, you've changed my story. But if I go in and I get excited about a piece of that I'm working on, I will tend to add my own things to it. And, and that's when I'm really involved. If I'm just doing what the writer wants, it usually means I'm probably not as into it. I love his work, and I've enjoyed doing the covers for the Miller World stuff. In the case of working with Alan Moore, it's just so germane and pristine and absolutely like a clockwork piece of storytelling where any deviation from that will just set the whole thing back off. In the next few months, I'll be starting with Mark Millar. So it's a creator-owned project. I can't really say anything about it because we're sort of in the discussion phases right now. I mean, we definitely are going to be doing it, but we haven't made any sort of real announcement about what the title is or anything else. And then also with Kelly Sue DeConnick, she and I have a project that we want to do, another creator-owned project that we're right now we're hunting for a home.
Dropping names now? Is that all you're doing?
Yes, that's all I'm doing, exactly.
I'm going to go back to Moon Knight. I keep talking about it. We spoke earlier. You told me a little story about Moon Knight. #1 is one of my favorites, but I think you had a little story to do with that.
They asked me if I wanted to do take it out of the back of the Hulk magazine, because it was a backup feature, and give it its own comic book. And I think it was one of the first titles that was direct sales only. And it sold very, very well for direct sales. And we were all really excited. And Jim Shooter, who was the editor-in-chief at the time, wanted to make sure that it was, perfectly done. So after I had drawn the entire first issue, he went back in and said, "No, you've got to redraw." So I literally redrew. I literally redrew the entire issue, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 pages that he took pity on me. All I know is it looks like my early stuff, and I just see all of the rawness. I see like stuff I really like about the sort of the kid who did that work, and sort of like the gumption that he had, and other things. I'm like just covering my my face, going, oh, you still do that wrong,
And the same with your electric work. Love it all. But thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We're going to keep an eye on what you got coming up, and I can't wait for all your new stuff.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.